Hello, everyone. I'm Grace Coker, and my partner is.
Hi, I'm Cyrus Amalan.
And today we're going to be giving a presentation on a personal database we created, basically to capture and display information about employees in a company. It gives a good record of the employees, their departments, projects, buildings, salaries, and their titles. And this presentation basically would be showing the connection between our front end and our back end um, interfaces of our data.
Yeah. So for our application architecture, it consisted of the front end, which was mainly HTML, and Jinja 2, which was passed through Python for the templating of dynamic data rendering. For our back end, it was mainly consisting of Python along with the Flask web framework, and that also helped with route handles and different HTTP requests to the front end. And for the database selection, we chose to go along with PostgreSQL, and this helped us store certain tables like building, room, department, etc.
So this is our web application, and it is broken down into two sections, which are the human resource section as well as the project management section. So going into employees, you can see we've already populated the directory with a few people, and I'm going to be showing you how to create an employee. So if we wanted to add a new hire, we would come here and input their data. So we're putting in data for Heather Rowe with her number. And she's joining the data analyst type. She has the data analyst title, and she's going to be joining the operations division and be joining the logistics department. For her office location, she's going to be in the headquarters in room 101. And here you need to, so this is a neat um, attraction to our application. To be able to add or edit employee details, you need to use a password to save that change. So I have just created an employee and saved that data. Also in the employee directory, you could create roles as well. So if there is a new role that is not existing in the company, you could create one. Here, we're going to create a company doctor with an annual salary of $200,000. And we save that role. And when we are ready, we can add an employee to that role. So if we have an employee that we are probably investigating for something, or for any reason we need to suspend an employee's data, we can do that. So this is Bob Builder, our senior architect. So we're going to suspend his account. And to do that, you need an admin password, which I have imputed. And right now, his account has been suspended. Now, going to the next tab, we have salaries. So the salaries tab gives a broad overview of all the employees' salaries in the company, and it also shows the tax implications for each employee in that company. So it draws all that information together, and we have this spreadsheet. Um, in the finance and budget, It helps the human resource as well as the stakeholders of the company to have a broad overview of how well each department is doing in the company. And we have the status here, and it tells us if our company is healthy or not. And then it helps us know what department to cut back on and to know if we need to like pump more money into that department. So that's what the finance and budget department tells us with the financial analytics. Um, we chose to do we chose to use a construction company as our um case study for this presentation because it gives us a great opportunity to really expand on the entities that can exist in a company. Right now, my partner Cyrus is going to be taking us through the next application in this site.
Yeah, so yeah, so I'm going to be talking about the project management part of the application. So this consists of three different sections. We'll go over the active projects one first. So this is the full overview of all the active projects that are going on. And as you can see, it consists of all these attributes of start date, end date, and different managers that are assigned to these projects. And then these are some little info to know how it's going, if it's pending or if it's done. So you could see you can add a project here. You could, depending on what department, you could say hardware. These are all the project managers active right now, and we could choose the one that's correlated to this. So for example, say if it was Cameron Blake, how much we choose to budget this project. So for example, say 15,000, and say the start date was starting on Wednesday, and give it maybe 2 weeks, and then we can insert this project into the database where this would get stored. And to show that it is getting stored in the database, here in Postgres, we can see that this just got inserted. We didn't add any milestones, so it comes in as null. But if, say, we want to edit something here, sorry, here, and say maybe it was pending still, no updates yet. So we have this as pending. And then if we want to reload the database, we have it retrieved and added into the database milestone as pending. So other stuff that we could do is look at the team for the project. These are so far the two teams employees added and the project role and assignment date. We can also assign more staff to this role depending on the correct employee and name the project name, sorry, the role of this project. Um, yeah, so then this is the total amount of budgets, and then if you click here, you'll go back to the total amount of employees. So the second section, which is really important, is the division department section. Here, there are all the department names, and we can say add different departments. These are currently all the divisions that we have so far. And if we want to add another division by chance, HR can be able to do this here. And this also does prove the normalizations because since this is not just included in one table, but it's connected to different tables along the database. So say we wanted to, or say mistakenly, or for some reason, the HR wanted to delete someone off this database, say, just say accounting, it comes up with a message saying this may fail. And when done so, it says delete failed. And this is basically showing the relational integrity of the database as It will not let you accidentally delete something like this because there are other employees or projects assigned to this. So it would not let you do that. Now there's a space button for each department, and this concludes of the building that the space is, the room number, and the type. So this is some extra information that gets added from the database. As you can see, we can also assign different rooms, and all these are only rooms that have not been allocated yet. And if it was, it would not be up here. And we can continue to do the same thing for edit department. Yeah, now for the final one, which is the site locations, these are so far the amount of building names that have been added to um, the website, and these are all rooms that have been added in for each building. So this we can edit by type and then by square feet. So say if we wanted to edit this to, it was really 120 square feet instead of 148, we can do that and it gets changed here. Say we didn't want this room, or one room was removed or not in our ownership anymore, we can remove 102, and that room just gets deleted from the database. And this is also an extra button, which is basically a faster way to create a new project. If HR wanted to create a new project quickly, that would be the button, and then they just add from there. Another unique thing that we have in our website is the search button. And so if for faster access, we can do stuff like the HR can find certain employees, department, or projects. So say one of our employees that I know in our database is called named Andrea. We search her name up, we can see her information. This is her employee ID number, which is the primary key, her title or department. If we want her full information, we can press this, and then it comes up with her ID, the office, the phone number of the office, her type, any leadership roles, etc. So yeah, that concludes our website. Just for further insight on our database, this shows all of our tables of our website that's connected, showing what we delete or add to the database, and it gets imported here. So everything is strong. It passes all three normalizations, and so the tables are all relationally strong, and the integrity is stable. So there's no bugs or certain duplicates or certain leaks that go through the database. So that is our company dashboard that helps for construction companies, and that concludes our project.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.